It's the fan phone in. Good evening, everyone. Hope you're all good. As you can see, there's no Mark Ryman tonight, but we have Lewis Williams with us. How are you getting on, Lewis? How are
I'm
things?
having a great Sunday. It's not a depressing Sunday.
I know, right? What a difference a win makes. Like we went to the Brickies this morning, myself and Phil, and we were buzzing. We were buzzing because as you can see on the ticker, 71 days since our last win. Can you believe it?
It's been crazy. I've learned this season to enjoy the wins when they do come because you don't know when the next one's coming, and I don't want to wait another 2 more. That's for sure.
Yeah, well, hopefully not. Hopefully not. Well, it might have to wait a little bit longer, won't it? Because we got we got Burnley next, and they're tricky, aren't they? They're a good team, so I guess we'll have to see what happens there. But
A team that just
exciting.
doesn't want to score many goals, though, do they? Just well, I know Sheffield Wednesday 4-0, but apart from that, they do love a 1-0 win, don't they?
They do, and we don't like scoring. We don't like scoring, so I guess we'll see what happens with that one. We'll do the match preview and all that, and we'll chat about it. But we should get a caller in, and we have someone in the green room. As a reminder to everyone in the chat, if you want to call in, the call link is pinned to the top of the chat. It's also in the description, and Lewis's channel is also linked in the description of this video. So if you like what you hear with Lewis, go follow him, subscribe. Although I guess you're all subscribed already because he's got 4 times, no, 2 times as many subs as this channel. We're almost at 2,000 subs. So remember, subscribe when you're here as well. If you're here from Lewis's channel, subscribe while you're here. Go for it. Right, let's bring in our first caller. We have Mark. Good evening, Mark. How are you getting on?
Hey guys, how are we?
Yeah, doing good. I'm guessing you're a first time caller, right?
I and I'm a Yank as well, so
Whoa, but we
yeah.
won't hold that against you.
I was hoping not. Yeah. So good day yesterday, huh?
It was. It was indeed. What did you make of it? Whereabouts in the US are you from?
I'm from the Boston area. I was actually over for Norwich at home. My family took a trip to London, and I dragged them up to Luton. So it was a special day, but an unfortunate result. So, yeah. Yeah. So Boston area.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool. Do you get to watch many games while you're? Well, are they on ESPN and all the likes of that
So
these days?
So what's happened is Paramount Plus, a streaming service over here,
Mhm.
purchased the rights to the EFL. So we get a lot of championship games. Unfortunately, Luton was on more at the start of the season when the expectations were there. Not as much anymore. They don't feature them as much, but there's ways to watch.
Well, if we start winning, there'll be a lot more games on Paramount
Exactly.
Plus, that's for sure.
That's the hope. I haven't woken up at 9 a.m. in a while and seen a good performance, so it was good yesterday to be rewarded for that. I thought it was good. Thought it was a good performance.
Any standout players for you on the day?
Well, besides the obvious, Christ Makoso and Cal Naismith. I thought Clark was good, of course, and I think Walsh continues to fly under the radar. I think he holds the ball up really well. Lewis, I know you were saying that as well. Um, yeah, I think all around. I think for me, we don't score a lot of goals. I think that's not hiding. But I think defensively, I think that it's just a big improvement, isn't it? I think what they did yesterday with Makoso in after he made his appearance the other day, I was calling for him to start. I didn't think they would actually do it, and pleasantly surprised. I think he brings energy, and I think, Lewis. I think you said this as well. Naismith helps him out. I don't think he has that performance without Cal Naismith beside him, guiding him with that experience.
Yeah, you could tell like throughout the whole 90 minutes, Naismith just speaking to everyone. And I think we've just been massively lacking that. I think a lot of our goals could have easily have been avoidable if we just communicate. And that's for me just the basics of football, just communicating with each other. And hopefully going forward, Cal Naismith injury free, we will see a lot more defensive performances like that. Because that last 20 minutes, I got nervous, but despite saying that, Portsmouth only had one clear cut opportunity. So we are improving, and hopefully going forward, the confidence from winning a game of football can like translate into our attacking display.
What about the
Agreed.
Ogilvy chance though? Like that was right in front of me. I was panicking.
Yeah, that one I held my breath, that's for sure. But the thing is with them is those chances are going to happen. Like, you're going to get those chances in a game of football. And I think that's why it makes it so special that Clark took the chance we needed. That's, something we've been missing as well. So, yeah, I mean, it's fortunate that he puts it over the bar. He should be scoring that. But we took our chance and we defended well for, 98% of the match. So you're going to get those chances. They're going to swing. They did it the whole game, swinging balls into the box second half. You're going to get those. And yeah, fortunate, but I think we deserved it. I think we deserved the miss, to be honest.
So, Mark, I know this is quite an obvious question, but are you happy with Matt Bloomfield? Like the way the performances, in my opinion, have improved, and I think Lewis agrees. Like from Lewis's videos, they have improved, right, Lewis? So are you happy with the way things are going under Matt Bloomfield? I mean, other than well, the lack of
The
wins.
result.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I think there's kind of a new feeling. When you watch Luton, they kind of lost their identity for a bit, and I think yesterday you could start to see it kind of coming back. And I think that's a credit to Bloomfield. He obviously got him up for yesterday. I don't think anyone needed to get. They had to win yesterday, and they did. But yeah, I would say, yeah. Besides the results, yeah, I think it's getting better slowly but surely. And now the big question is, can he flip the script away from home? We know Luton can pull off results at home, whether they're in form or not. We saw it under Edwards as well. Getting their points at home. The big question is, can you beat the teams that you should be beating at home? Can you do it away? So I think that's the question. But overall, yeah, I think hopefully in the long term it continues. I think Bloomfield's a good long term answer. But we said that about Edwards as well, and you know now we're here. But yeah, I would say I'm happy generally. Yeah.
Yeah. That's fair. That's fair.
Yeah, I think that is fair. I think, yeah, Bloomfield, regards to him, slow start, and he has been at the last two clubs, at Colchester, at Wycombe, but he does eventually get it right with hope, with 11 games remaining. I think that's what goes in our favour. There's 11 games left. It's not 4 or 5, it's 11. So after Burnley, the big one against Cardiff away, if our away form is going to improve, it's got to be against those teams around us in the Championship.
And those games are coming right up, aren't they? I mean, they're away from home. I don't see us improving against Well, I can't see us taking anything at Burnley, but then those games, Hull, Cardiff, big games. 3 points on offer. We got to get those. Smash and grab.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, that's this time of year. It's an unfortunate position, but now you're in crunch time and you have to win these games. I don't think drawing away at Derby and Cardiff are gonna do us much good. So you'd hope to get 6 points out of that. That's the ideal situation. Burnley's a whole different monster. I mean, they're not too great going forward, but I don't know if I can see a scoring goal there. So you'd hope for it.
Got balls kicked.
Yeah, not many score goals at Burnley. Like they've only conceded 9 goals all season.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, I guess what you do there is you pray for a 0-0, and they've seen a lot of those this season. So yeah, you got to win the games you got to win. That's really just what it comes down to. And it's tough away from.
We'll leave you with one question. It's very simple. Luton Town staying up or going down, Mark?
I think, I don't want to jump on yesterday, but you would hope that that's the start of a snowball effect. And I'm going to go with Luton stay up. If Cal Naismith stays healthy and Christ Makoso continues to impress, which you would hope, I think Luton have a chance. I think it's been better going forward. It's still not great, but it's been better. if we take that's been the story of the season's missing chances. That's what I'm going to leave with. If we take chances and we defend similar to how we did yesterday, I think they can. And I think they're the best of that bottom three.
Thank you very much, Mark. Yeah, you're welcome back anytime, mate.
Awesome. It was great to speak to you guys. Thanks for having me.
Take care.
Cheers, mate.
Right. It's always interesting hearing from a Yank, I have to say. And it's good it's good optimism, but there are a lot of ifs there. If we can keep defending like that, if Cal Naismith can stay healthy, if this, if that. And we've had a lot of this. Like if you cast your mind back to when we had that Millwall Sheffield Wednesday double, 6 points on the spin, and we were thinking, oh, this is it, this is where we can bootstrap our season up from. And then we had the Watford and the Sunderland performances, and we thought we could bootstrap our way up through the season from there. And then we had Coventry, so
we were saying it even before the Millwall game. We were saying that if players came back fit, we'll start winning games of football. But then we're in the cycle of players come back, get injured, come back, get injured. But with Reece Burke on the verge of coming back to make his 20? Well, I don't know how many games he's played this season. He averages about 20 games a year, which is mental in itself. And Ted and Menji also on the verge of coming back. You know, hopefully strengthen with a more stronger defence. Maybe.
Yeah, well, Makoso the saviour. You're a bit too young, but I likened him to Leon Barnett and Emerson Boyce in the way he played. He had that sort of gangly physique, and he sort of lollops around, but he has like searing pace. Makoso could be a great, but we've said this with a lot of people, so I guess you just
it'd be a good test for him next week against Burnley with better. Well, to be fair, I thought keeping Murphy quiet against for Portsmouth was a good start because Murphy isn't, an average player. He's a top player, experienced player, and he's having a great season for Portsmouth. So the fact that he ended up getting subbed off just shows you how good Makoso did in the game.
Yeah.
So against better quality in players with Burnley, I think he'd be up against that Jaden Anthony and or either Marcus Edwards as well. So up against those wide attacking players, let's see what he can do against better quality players. And yeah, fingers crossed he does the same thing and we get more positive results.
Yeah, hopefully so. Right, I brought in the next person we're going to talk to this evening. It's Tyler from T-Boys TV. How you getting on, Tyler?
Yeah, I'm all good, thanks. So you both all good?
Yeah, all good here. All good.
Yeah, about time. It was about time, really. But yeah, no, I mean the game itself. I thought it was one of them where it's quite similar to the Sheffield United start in the sense of we were on the front foot. What our problem was in that game, for example, was obviously chances, and I didn't want that to come back and bite us. And obviously Clark then did latch onto it, and he done well to realise that and latch onto it. It was a good finish. As we know, obviously it's not the level of his other finishes, but he was there in the right place at the right time. And in the end, I just thought it was one where they did put a bit of pressure on us. We did sit back a little bit, but in the end, it's a start of something. And like mentioned in the other bit, in the other call, it's one of them where the games we've got coming up, Stoke, Hull, them teams, Cardiff, we have to win them games for me. I know the away form's terrible, but they're in and around us. If we're to have any chance, we have to win them games. And who knows? Christ obviously come in and done very well in the last two games, but who knows? Maybe if Naismith and McGuinness were available, we probably went against Watford. We probably wouldn't have seen him for quite a long while. So maybe that was a blessing in disguise as well.
So what do you make of? Do you think that it's a case of McGuinness and Naismith have to be fit? That's the only way we get anything out of Cardiff, Hull, Derby, all these teams. Like we can't trust Anderson, can we?
No, not in the back three. I think that was proven against Watford. I think I wouldn't necessarily say McGuinness in. I would say Naismith. I think he is the one. I think McGuinness, as the future goes on, I think he can be one of them leaders for us. But, we have seen in certain moments, with just Naismith just being there, just how much more stable it's been, even when we've had McGuinness. And I think McGuinness is all right. But even when we have had him, there has been moments where we still had moments like the goal Sheffield United scored, for example. That was mainly down to him not marking, ball watching.
He didn't push up. Like you could see Naismith was pushing everyone up, and McGuinness was just lagging behind.
Yeah, exactly. So he was focusing on that. So I think whereas Naismith, even some of the things he was doing yesterday, just the control, and he's done it anyway since he's come in. But when the ball's been, he's brought it down with his chest. He's looked for that eye for the pass and things like that. I just think that experience and that leadership and him being in and around the club before has massively helped for this latter stage of the season with our chance to survive.
I think McGuinness is a lot better in a back four than he is in a back three. I don't think he actually suits the back three system. I don't think many players suit the back three system. I think we're just playing it because we don't have the players to do what Matt Bloomfield wants to do. So that's why we've just got to resort to this back three. And it's a shame, really, because we've recruited to play Matt Bloomfield's system in January and we're resulting back to what Edwards was doing. But without Cal Naismith, it's going to be a concern because I just don't see this system working. And he brings that leadership, that experience. But McGuinness, I think next season will be his year in a back four.
That's a very only fools and horses way of looking at it. Next year, Rodders, we're going to be millionaires. Next year's going to be his year. Sorry, Tyler. Go on, crack on.
No, it's all good. I can't even. Yeah, like I say, I can see McGuinness being a future captain for us. I feel there has been them moments where he has looked really good. What he is really good at is, them sliding tackles. What I've noticed, he's really good at, winning the ball like that, getting the ball out and stuff. It's just them individual stuff he does sometimes, which let him down. Marking, like we said on the Sheffield United goal, for example, just them little bits. Whereas I feel, obviously, Naismith already has that experience. I think him knowing inside the club helps and stuff, and that leadership and that determination of what we've been missing really since Lockyer is massively helped. And you just see an instant impact really with him being in yesterday, especially when you compare it to last week against Watford. Obviously that back three was not ideal, and you just see, it was a worry before the game anyway. Him and McGuinness on form, you'd probably say going into that game they were the two best centre-backs. With them being out, it was always going to be even more of a bigger ask than it already was.
Yeah, you're right there, and you lose a lot. Like if we do go back to that Watford game, the way Bell was performing and Walters was performing. Well, Walters, he's not the best defensively, but I feel Walters probably would have benefited a lot from having Cal next to him in the middle, as well as Bell. Like Bell's performances have improved a lot whenever Naismith is there. So they need that on-field coach in their ear. And Bell's best performances, I think, like in the season when we finished 6th, they came when Naismith was on hand, really, didn't they? On hand and next to him.
Yeah, no, I agree. There's moments where, you even look at certain games from Bell and they've not been up to level. Well, I think yesterday he was decent, and like you say, Naismith being there obviously massively benefited him, and I think it just gives him the freedom and luxury to do, look for them eye for passes. Sometimes, when he's on the ball, he's trying to do too much. I think, he's taking the extra touch and stuff like that, and then sometimes it puts us under really.
I would say it was Bell's best performance yesterday for Portsmouth since Matt Bloomfield's arrived at the football club. Because I've been very critical of him because he's been one of the players which I found not really stepped up as a experienced pro. So the fact that we're now seeing the old Amari Bell from previous seasons is good to see. But I've got a question about the attacking, about the attacking aspect of our game. Who would you start next week up top? Because I think Morris had a great game against Portsmouth. He won an awful lot. and was trying his best to link up the play. But I felt Brown against that aggressive Portsmouth defence just couldn't really hold the ball up. Yes, he was part of the goal, but apart from that, just couldn't get into the game at all. But I thought Ali, when he came on the pitch, massively had a good impact, held the ball up, used his pace when he could. So yeah, who would you start up top next week?
It's an interesting one because I agree. I do think Morris was a lot better yesterday, and the problem for him has been when we have been trying to play them long balls. He's been struggling because he's he's going to try and hold it up. He hasn't got the pace, but he was much better yesterday. I do agree. I was a little bit surprised. Not surprised he was on the bench, but I was surprised Nordas didn't get a bit of a run out yesterday. I would probably go with them two because Nordas seems like a bit of a lump, and I thought in the what game was it where he got the assist? The Plymouth game. I thought he was pretty good in that game, to start off. Ali, I have seen good moments from him as well. As much as he had that chance against Sunderland, which people go on about, but he was offside anyway. I think he still had a pretty good game in that. He's willing to drive at players, and I think that's what we've been missing sometimes, just that determination. Especially with Chong being out, for example. A player who probably does it the most in our squad. We've been missing elsewhere there. So me right now, I'd probably say Morris and Nordas. I wouldn't mind Morris and Ali, to be fair, either.
It's an interesting one from where I was sitting. Well, and everyone could see it in the stadium as well. Correct me if I'm wrong, Lewis. I know you were there. I find Morris, he drops too far into midfield and he drifts out wide into the wings. And I discussed this on the Luton Town show as well. And there was a moment when Morris was going to send in a cross. Who is he sending the cross into? Was he going to break the speed of light and get on the end of his own cross? That's the problem, because you want Morris as the out and out striker, and you need someone who's there and ready to get on the end of it, really. I thought he was good in terms of hold-up play, but let me know your thoughts on this. We need strikers that can score goals, and Morris is a striker that can score goals. But the thing is, he takes up positions that are not going to score him goals.
Yeah, I think as well the wing backs. I think I looked. Jones and Alfie Doughty both did not create an opportunity yesterday. I think that's also a problem. They're not getting out wide. They're not getting on the ball. Asgard was struggling to get onto the ball as well because we kept going long. So I do think it's a lack of confidence, and that's what's having an impact right now. And I think with more confidence, they can play the ball short on the ground and move the ball quickly. Because we've seen it in the last couple of games when we actually do move the ball quickly on the ground. Teams don't like it. Did it against Sheffield United. It worked extremely well, especially in that first half. Plymouth, every time we kept doing it, they kept taking us out. Every time we went on that counter, wiping us out because they did not like us running at them. Watford, Nordas, when he was moving the ball quickly, could have got the defender sent off, and then we ended up resulting to long ball after that. And then Portsmouth, how many times did they aggressively tackle us because we were moving the ball quickly? Teams don't like it, so we need to do it a lot more. It's just a shame that I think it is a confidence issue, and once you start doing more stuff correct, hopefully everyone builds this confidence, and then you start seeing it for larger periods in the game, which will hopefully result in more opportunities. But it is a concern that Morris isn't having shots at goal. Yesterday he didn't have a single shot. Not the first time this season that's happened. So we need him in the 6-yard box. We talk about Elijah not performing and not taking his chances, but he gets chances out of nothing. It's always him, but he's always in the right place at the right time. So
Can't finish them,
I
though.
think it is a confidence. Yeah, but he can't finish them though. Imagine if it was Morris in his position rather than the other way round. So yeah, I think it's confidence, but someone also needs to tell Morris, you're most dangerous in that 6-yard box. That's where we need you. That's where we want you, and hopefully get us goals. Because I think he's out of all of our strikers. I know it's too early to say on Nordas, but I think he's the most clinical one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So sorry, Tyler. It's interesting to say, but Morris hasn't scored double digits out in a season other than at Luton Town. I think maybe he did the season before at Barnsley when we signed him. Right, Tyler, what's on your mind?
All I was going to say is I totally agree, because you look at Morris and the chances, especially from what I can think from the top of my head, which he's had in recent weeks. It's all been good chances from inside the box, when we've had free kicks, corners. You think of the one against Sunderland, for then the alley chance after that. That started from his header. There was another chance against somebody at home. I can't quite remember who it was. I think it might have been Plymouth or somebody else, where the keeper tipped it wide. So, we know he brings that aerial threat. And sometimes, it is a bit worrying at times, because, he hasn't got that pace to, then get up there. So I think that's probably people's, annoyance when they see him deep. It's like they know he should really be in there. That he is that number 9 that should be in the box having them chances, because when he does have them chances, he does win them aerial headers a lot, but we're just not seeing it enough, and it is disappointing.
Yeah, it's a cliche of football strikers. Essentially, you want to be in front of the goal. You only want to play within the width of the goal. And Morris, like he can play on the halfway line, providing he's in front of the goal, but or he can play on the edge of the box, providing he's in the width of the goal. If he wants to hold up the ball, bring on other players, flick on, hold up, bring other people into play, he has to stay within the width of the goal. He cannot be running off to the wing, because essentially we need him making runs into the box centrally. He cannot be pissing off anywhere else, because right now we need a goal scorer. And as Lewis said, as you said, he is the clinical one in the team. He is the striker. He's the one that scored, 30 plus goals over the last 2 seasons. We need him right now.
He's reminded me what James Collins did towards his end of his Luton career, where he just kept he kept trying to do too much and kept trying to drift out wide, and then he lost that clinical edge in front of goal because he just wasn't in the box. So it's starting to remind me of that. And then we brought in Elijah, and then all of a sudden we've got a guy who just stays in the 6-yard box, most dangerous. And then Elijah ended up kicking Collins out of the side in the end. Could Nordas be the guy that does that? I don't know yet. Hopefully we'll see it more of him in weeks to come. But he needs to stay in the box.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens, I guess. Tyler, one last question before you go. Luton Town, staying up or going down?
Oh, it's a difficult one, because I've been asked this question a lot now since. And the thing for me is, it's. I look at it and I think, well, if they can show that fight, because there was a fight yesterday compared to what we have seen a lot, especially in that first half, getting that goal as well, making your chances. I think we do, bar Leeds, and probably maybe Middlesbrough. I think we do have a lot of games at home that are favourable, that we can get results out of. And we know, we've not been the best at home, but we have been getting results. So if we can grind out them results, and then them away games against Stoke, Cardiff, and Hull, if we can win them games, then there's no reason why we can't. But I think we have to win them games. I think, we can't really come out of them games losing. Especially with there being a little bit of a mountain to climb, especially when you look at us compared to Cardiff right now, for example. I think we need to be winning them sort of games. And if we do, and if we have Naismith at the back, I'm a lot more confident we won't concede many goals. So right now, on that basis, I'll say we can do it, and we will do it.
Optimism. Absolutely love it. Thank you very much for joining us, Tyler. FYI, if you want to subscribe to Tyler's channel, we'll stick it in the chat. It's T-Boys TV. Check it out. He does live watch longs. There you go. Thank you, Kate, for sticking that in the chat. Sorry, Tyler, I cut you off really, really abruptly. No bad feelings there. Whoopsie. See ya. Because Lewis doesn't normally do this. Like I'm doing all the moving of people from the green. Yeah, I'll blame it on you. Yeah, I'll blame it on you. I'm moving people from the green room, and I'm doing the transitions. Look, so it just went from Tyler to call now, and that's what people can do. Just have a look. The link to the green room, it's in the chat of the YouTube, and it's also in the description, so you can join us in the green room. And don't worry if you can't see or hear anything, it's a purgatory. We will see that you're in there, and then we can move you in to the chat. A lot of comments. Shall we start reading some? Right. Mike Kilby says, Ollie, why are you in prison? I'm not in prison. This is my garage. I just removed a lot of the rubbish. Right. Phil says, hi Phil. This is an interesting one, Lewis. Rumour yesterday near me was contract offer already been made to Naismith. What do you make of that?
I hope it's a 1-year offer, but if he hits a certain amount of appearances or performance based, it then can be renewed again. Because I do not want us to be offering long-term deals to players in their... I know he's only 33, and I know that is still young, but football world, that's towards the end of your career. So I hope we haven't made a silly decision, because we have made some silly decisions in contract lengths. Baptiste, for example. So I don't want us to continue. So a year with an option if you perform well and hit certain appearances, don't mind that at all. But I do think, regardless of what league Luton are in, I wouldn't mind keeping Cal Naismith.
Yeah, he's a footballer. To be honest, we should have made a move for him when we went up to the Premier League, I think. Although Rob Edwards didn't really know him. Maybe we should have gone for him at the beginning of this season, being back down in the Championship. Or, to be honest, we should have gone for him as soon as Tom Lockyer was pretty much out in the January window, right? In the Premier League. Cal Naismith could have been an option, maybe.
Yeah, you could argue that, but I would also say to him, he should have signed with us. Why did you go to Bristol City?
More money.
I know they offered him a 3-year deal as well.
Yeah.
But, he would have seen the plans, he would have seen the vision of the club, and he could have been a part of it. We could have been even stronger during that promotion winning season. And that was the reason why Amari Bell actually moved to being a left-sided centre-half, if you think about it, because we just couldn't replace Cal Naismith.
Yeah. It worked out for the best, but now we're at danger of falling straight through the division, aren't we? Matt says, yes, they reminded me of Morris when he first signed, holding the ball up and finding a teammate with a pass. Yeah. I think that's fair. His hold-up play was excellent.
He also was, he had 2 Portsmouth defenders on him all the time. They were tag teaming him throughout the whole 90 minutes. And I think he won the most aerial battles in the air. So you can't knock that.
Yeah. Look, he was absolutely mustard. The problem was who was there feeding off the balls. Like Jacob Brown barely touched the ball. I think he might have touched the ball like maybe 18 times. He completed 3 passes. He wasn't the one, but he ran around a lot. So I guess that was important. Bryn Watson.
He needs to also.
We need to get Asgard more into the game.
Yeah, simply. I know he wants the ball to feed, but sometimes you're not always going to get that. You're going to have to back yourself. So, and also strikers, most of the time they're not going to win that long ball attempt. Defenders win 80% of that battle. So you always got to be, where's the second ball? Where's the third ball going to drop? And you've got to be there in the middle to win it. But I thought Clark, for a small man, fair play. The amount of headers he won during the game against Portsmouth, it was quite impressive. Didn't lose a single aerial battle. And for a small man like myself, us small people, we struggle. We do struggle. So fair play to him.
Personally, I never liked heading the ball. I didn't used to play with glasses, but especially when the ball's coming down from like a goal kick and you connect slightly wrong, your whole skull sort of shudders. So it like properly rattles your brain. I never liked it. So mad respect to anyone that goes up for a big ball over the top. Like, don't forget though, Asgard's 6'2", and he does challenge for the balls, does he? Um, he, he might not win them, but he challenges for them. But you made a point about second ball, third ball. We need to win those. And yesterday we kind of did win those, but we need to be winning those consistently throughout games, because that is how you win games.
What I found like really mad yesterday was, and the whole crowd I think was like, why are we not coming out? You know, when there was a corner or free kick, we made the first clearance, and then we're just inviting Portsmouth to put that long ball back in, and no one's pushing out to, push Portsmouth back, and we're like, come out, but they all just stayed in the box and just were willing to defend. I found that a little bit crazy, and you can see Bloomfield as well going, get out, get out.
Mm.
I don't understand why we were doing that, and also the new set piece tactic which we're introducing recently about having two players. I don't mind it, a couple of times during the game, but
Every
I don't.
single every
Yeah,
single
I
time.
know Walsh isn't going to win many headers for a corner, but what you could do is you could place yourself in a position where you can block runners, you can block defenders for trying to attempt the ball, or you can be on the edge of the box. And we do know Walsh does like a shot at goal when he does have the time and space.
It was one of the moves was actually really nice, which was Doughty standing off, and we thought, oh yeah, it's just going to be a pass and then a cross. Doughty sort of went down the left, and no one was near him, and he had a chance to cross it in. That was nice, mixing it up.
Yeah.
I like that, providing there's some variety in the way the dead balls are sent in, first time or give and go, or give and then overlap to make the ball flatter as it comes in, or more acute. I like that. But yeah, they've mixed it up a bit more recently than they have done I think against Sheffield United it was literally the same thing every single time. It's like
Yeah, against Watford
pass,
as well.
stop, cross. Yeah, it was again against Watford. Yeah, same.
But I'm interested to see what going forward, what we with more set pieces, what we do, because Matt Bloomfield was what Wickham were really good at. Set pieces was one of their strengths. So I would like to think he would like to replicate that here, where before he arrived we were very good at set piece anyway. Although it was the traditional back post, someone wins that first header, and then someone hopefully tries to win that second ball. That's what it normally used to be with a floated ball by Alfie. But yeah, going forward, mixing it up causes teams all sorts of problems.
Yeah. No, absolutely. Right, some more comments here. Jen thought in this case Morris was more contributing to the ball retention efforts and then seeing how things might develop. Fair points. The main thing is you've got to retain the ball. Phil Humphreys, we need to find another gear if we're going to survive. Portsmouth didn't play great, in my opinion. Saying that if we can get a couple of wins, even 1-0, scrappy ones, there's a chance we stay up. Who knows? That's a fair point. Like, look, I just want to see heart, fight, desire, and I'll take scrappy 1-0s. I know your heart might not be able to take it, Lewis, but I'm happy for it.
Well, I walked away from the stadium with actual confidence because it's the first time in a very long time I thought we did have to fight to win 3 points. And I know the comments said that Portsmouth didn't play well, but they made it very hard. Like, they are a very aggressive. I wouldn't say bullying's the right type of word, but their striker Bishop, he won't let you have an easy game, and our defenders had to work to get a clean sheet, and that's what you want to see. You want to walk away from a game knowing the fact that our players have actually done enough to win a game of football. They've put their heart, into it. You saw a few cuts and bruises. Cal Naismith blow to the head. That's what I want to see. I want to see proper defending. And Makoso, when he was like giving that energy to the crowd, he looks like a lad that loves defending, and I love that type of mentality.
Yeah, wonderful. Honestly, he fed off both ends of the crowd as well, like the Kenny end and then Block F. He loved it. Absolutely loved it. Phil says, agree with Jen. Oh, that was the thing about Morris. Ball retention is vital to get us in the final third. Was disappointed with Alfie and Jones in the final third. Jones seemed to struggle to find space at home. Well, I guess it's quite a tight pitch, isn't it, Lewis?
Yeah, I think away from home you'll have better luck, but I agree with about Alfie. I didn't think it was Alfie's best game. He did one decent moment in the first half. I think Portsmouth looked like they were clean through on goal, and it was an excellent recovery run by Alfie just to get back in time. But apart from that, he didn't look like his self, and that's why I think he got taken off in the second half. But yeah, Isaiah Jones, he's got that pace, all the pace in the world, and it's about, I think we need to find him at that right moment. So I think going forward, giving Asgard the ball, and I think someone like Asgard or Walsh pick him out quickly, and then he can be front-footed, try and take on the man, and then whipping the ball into the box, or do even better, score a goal himself.
Yeah, he's been waiting. Like, he waits on the shoulder of the man for the ball sort of like threaded through. We couldn't get the balls quite right yesterday. Maybe it is the pitch a bit tight, but to be honest, if between Walsh and Asgard, we should be able to find a ball that works for him. We really should.
Yeah, I think away from home, I think he have more luck on much bigger pitches.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Right. Jen says, given Cal's history with the club, knowledge of the club's history and vision rates high, perhaps outweighs the issues of his age. Yeah, well, as long as he's like got better legs than Baptiste, like give him a 10-year contract, I don't care. Like Baptiste, what a shambles of a player.
I've got massive concerns with him. I really
Oh,
do.
do you? I'm perfectly happy with him.
What, like League One though, it's more physical than the Championship. I know the Championship's faster, but League One, you've got more aggressive defenders, and if he's just getting injured with
Kicking
the
a ball.
challenges which I've seen in the Championship recently, then how is he going to cope in League One?
It wasn't even a challenge that injured him. He kicked a ball and his leg almost came off.
Exactly. The ball's too hard.
Yeah, it's like something out of The Simpsons, like when that NFL kicker kicked the ball and his leg came off because Homer Simpson had run over his leg. I don't know what's up with Baptiste. It is comedic how delicate he is.
Fans are fully, well, I think Watford away was the perfect example of fans just having enough with him now, because I think
They laughed.
last quarters,
Yeah.
booed him off. And I think fans are just sick and tired now. So he has to work extremely hard now. We were very critical of Walsh with his suspensions and missing 7 games in that Blackburn game. But to be fair to him, recently, I don't think he's put a foot wrong. He's keeping the ball extremely well, which is what we need. We need to retain possession of the ball. And he must be winding Championship players up all season. He must be saying something on the pitch, because he's been on the ends of some nasty challenges. I know he does a few himself, but I thought the Murphy one was ridiculous yesterday.
He nibbled him, didn't he?
He fully head lost, wasn't it? It was like, right, I didn't get the referee decision, so I'm going to lash out and kicked him. And I think someone in our coaching staff got booked for the reaction as well, because Murphy proper went for it.
Yeah. That was hilarious. To be honest, I think Murphy could have gone off. Andre Dizelle should have been sent off.
Was it that bad? From where I was seeing, because you know when it was late, from my
It
view,
was so late.
I know it was late, but I didn't know how high it was, if it was high or not. From my view, I just couldn't tell.
It was above the ankle.
Okay, yeah, he's a lucky boy then.
Yeah, it was behind him and above the ankle. Like, it was really bad. Like, because the ball, Liam Walsh passed the ball towards the Kenny end, didn't he? Passed it down the line towards you. Yeah, I was right behind it because I sit over the tunnel, and I was watching that. I was like, oh my god, that's so late. I saw it happening in slow motion. It was absolutely disgraceful. Whoa.
Well, the referee was shocking.
He was. But he got the instant karma though, didn't he? like after the pen.
If
that
only
should have
if
been.
only it was a little bit harder.
Yeah, I know.
It would have maybe knocked some sense into him.
I know. Right, more comments, because no one's called. Matt says the biggest win yesterday was the psychological boost he'll give the players. Last time we held on to a lead was November. Cannot underestimate how big that is for the players. Very true, very true. And Kate said, why is no one calling in? It's so weird. When we lose, we have a queue of callers. No one when we win. Come on, guys, celebrate. And E. Marshall. Yeah, apparently everyone's in shock. Can you believe it? Sea of Green says Makoto to start as many games as he can from here on in. Need his pace to get us out of trouble on big pitches, especially on the road. 1-0 wins away at Cardiff or Hull will do. And Manchester's Blue Vaping says, Lewis, why didn't James start? James who?
Yeah.
Yeah, who?
They're playing James on our side.
Well, there's James Shea. He might be asking about James Bree, who hasn't played for us for a couple of years.
We've got a situation with that goalkeeper department though, don't we? Because you can't. I don't think we can continue having 3 senior keepers, and especially with Thomas's. I don't think his performances have been great. I know he's kept us. He's won us points. We've had the comment. It is James Shea. Why did James Shea not start? I think Bloomfield was asked about him, wasn't he, in his conference?
He said he's sticking with Kaminsky.
Yeah, which look, I don't mind, but only if if he's gonna communicate, because I need a goalkeeper that can communicate. Okay, if you're not gonna command your area, that's fine. If you're gonna stay glued to your goal line, that's fine. But communicate that to the defenders. When we had Mark Tyler, so Mark Tyler for me was my first Luton Town goalkeeper, who I can remember the performances. He knew, and Steve McNulty or Wilkinson or Fraser Franks, Ronnie Henry, Scott Griffiths, they all knew as a defence that Tyler wasn't going to come out, and they knew he was going to stay glued to his goal line, and they knew he would communicate and let them know. That's what Thomas needs to do, because I think right now our defenders are 50-50 on our goalkeeper, or whether or not he's going to stay glued to his goal line or come out. Take a decision and and stay from there, because I think him being 50-50 is causing a lot of problems. Yes, sometimes that doesn't result into a goal, but at times, watching from the stands, I'm like, they just don't trust him. And I just don't think defenders can have a goalkeeper that they don't trust. But fantastic shot stopper, not denying that. But communication, I think, is very key.
I absolutely lost it at him yesterday. I think it was that moment. I can't remember if it was a ball through or one of our players was passing the ball back to him. It was in the first half, and he started to go, and then he started backing up, and then he started to go again, and I screamed. I don't know if anyone could hear me because there are obviously quite a few people in the crowd, but I said, just get off your line faster. I was fuming because we got off lightly against Plymouth because that goal was not offside. But I'll tell you what did happen in that not offside goal. I saw Kaminsky ahead. He was closer to the ball than the Plymouth player, and then he was further away because he'd backtracked so quickly, and then he started going forward again.
Do you think the Portsmouth game, when he got sent off, has proper knocked his confidence? Because I don't remember this in the Premier League. I knew about his kicking in the Premier League, but the glued to the goal line stuff, I never really recognised. I know we conceded a lot of goals last year, but that aspect of his game, I kind of didn't remember at all. Unless my memory is really bad. But
I don't think he had the chance. I don't think he had the chance to get off his line, to be honest, last season. But he needs to sort it.
That Portsmouth game. it's just got worse from that point onwards.
Yeah.
I know it would help if we had confidence, and he hasn't kept many clean. So of course, the win yesterday that would give him more confidence going into the Burnley game. But yeah, it's I find it weird with him because my thoughts from the start of the season have dramatically changed, and now I'm in the. I guess my thoughts now are I think we need a new keeper for next year, regardless where we are, because can't have Krul's not. I think as well, a number one goalkeeper shouldn't always be guaranteed every single competition, and Krul's not really giving him any competition. And also, your third choice goalkeeper doesn't also need to be a senior one; it could be a young and upcoming one. So I know we had the goalkeeper injury crisis years ago, but I think that could be addressed in the summer.
Yeah, also, I think Krul is far too expensive to have as a second choice goalkeeper as well. And we don't need three goalkeepers all over the age of 32. That's too much, too old, too expensive as well. Um, I like having Shea around. He's barely played in like the 9 years he's been here. He's only had like what, two full seasons. But yeah, we need to bring in a younger, more mobile, box dominating goalkeeper. I can't see Jack Walton wanting to play because he's going to want to move to Dundee, isn't he, permanently? Because
I think he has moved over to Scotland because his last two loan spells have been over there. So I think he's actually officially moved, and I think his next move will be
yeah,
permanent.
like if you're buying a house, you're not going to commute from Dundee to Luton. Dundee is pretty far north. It's north of Edinburgh. Um, Plus, he's not going to want to go from a team that's competing for European competition, and he's one of the outstanding goalkeepers in the Scottish League. He's not going to want to move down to. He's not going to want to be. Well, even if he is first choice at Luton, the Scottish League is very, very rubbish. I can say that because I lived there and I watched it for a long time. I remember Dean Brill going from being our second choice goalkeeper behind Mark Tyler, going to St Johnstone and absolutely tearing up the Scottish League. It shows it's on par with the National League. It's that there are two very good teams, and then the rest of it is absolutely awful. Yeah, we're getting some agreement in the comments here. Kevin McHugh, new keeper is a must. Need someone who will organise and take ownership of the area. Who? Not a clue. Missed out on Cooper, who could have been number one for the next 10 years. Yeah. Fuming about Cooper.
We could have even got Victor Johansson, the Stoke keeper, the one who, because it was at Rotherham, and he was Rotherham's number one keeper. I think he was goalkeeper of the season. Amazing shot stopper, comes out as well and dominates his 6 yard box. And I think he left to go to Stoke on a free transfer after his contract was up.
No, it was 2 million. It was 2 million.
Oh, it was 2 million.
Yeah.
But even so, you think about it, that was
Bargain.
£2 million.
Bargain, though.
We paid £2 million for Thomas, and Johansson's a younger keeper. So you think about it, that would have been a much better, transfer to make at the time. But of course, we didn't know that Thomas was going to have the season he did in the Premier League for us.
Yeah. No, honestly, a Cooper would have been one as well. I like Connor Hazard, the guy that's currently at Plymouth. I think he's a fantastic goalkeeper. One player that we will definitely not be getting back. Manchester's Blue Vaping is commenting saying maybe you should try and get Ethan Horvath back. No, never. I'm not a fan of Ethan Horvath at all. What a terrible goalkeeper. We could have got promoted that season with me playing in goal, personally.
How good defensively we was.
Yeah, we were great. We only allowed on average like 3 shots a game. We had the second lowest XG in the division, the fewest shots against in the division, and Ethan Horvath still had the highest errors leading to goal in the division. And that was a division that included Joe Lumley. So, yeah, he's an awful goalkeeper. Absolutely woeful goalkeeper. I don't think anyone's joining us for a chat. So, I guess we can wrap up. We've done an hour. Last comment here is from Kate. Thank you, Editor Kate. Ollie won't be holidaying in Scotland anytime soon. Not a chance. I'm never going back to Scotland for as long as I live. 4 years living there was enough for me. Although I got to see all the northern away places. I went to Gateshead more times than I care to admit. I went when even John Still couldn't be bothered to go. But anyway, thank you to everyone for watching. Thank you to our guest host, Lewis Williams. Remember, subscribe to his channel. It's in the video description. We'll stick it in the chat as well. Lewis, how was it? Did you have a good time tonight?
Yeah, it's been great.
It's your second
Hopefully
live
next
stream,
time-
mate.
Huh?
It's your second live stream today.
Yes, I'm a busy man. I'm very busy. But yeah, I've enjoyed it. Hopefully next time more phone-ins, that's for sure. And yeah, just hopefully Luton keep on winning.
Yeah, well, if you want more people phoning in, I think Luton Town are going to have to keep losing. That's the only time people call in, apparently. Whoopsie. Oh well. Everyone, take care. Have a great rest of your Sunday. And most importantly, come on, you Hatters.